Welcome, SNS. Welcome, everyone. I hope you guys are doing okay. I know you were a little frustrated yesterday. This is a little bit difficult, but just like with video production, you didn't know how to run the news show to start, and now you guys can run the news show. So when we started this quarter, you didn't know how to do some certain tasks, make a stop motion video, work with the robots, computer science, but now you feel more comfortable with it. So with the same idea as we roll out this CAD, you're going to gain some comfort. So let's go ahead and show you how to go ahead and begin with our CAD. This is my first page. I have some things here that we've designed or I've designed and kind of given you guys a tutorial. We're going to go ahead and start off over on the left-hand side where it says create, and we're going to go create a document. I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to call this Mattia. You use your first name. I'll say tag or tag's fine. Use your first name and then tag. That'll be good. That's kind of what we're making, like a backpack tag. Once we start, here we are in the very beginning. We have our different planes that show up here, and we're going to pick a plane to start with our two-dimensional drawing. So we'll have a two-dimensional drawing first, and then we're going to build off of that. So I'm going to go to the front plane, and on this front plane, I'm going to go ahead and make a sketch up in the upper left-hand corner. So this sketch, I'm going to change the name, and I'm just going to call it real simple for rectangle. You can type rectangle if you want to have the whole thing. Sure, rectangle. And now it says sketch plane. Where are we going to draw this? We need to specify. The computer doesn't know until you tell it. So I'm going to click in this space and then go over here and say the front plane, as you see it displaying now, the front plane will be where we draw. Now I need to go up to my rectangle tool, grab a corner rectangle. So when it's blue, that means it's selected. And I'm going to click and drag and drop. Okay, you see some dimensions that are given to you. Those are in millimeters. Some of you haven't changed your preferences. They could be in inches. When we go and dimension this, you can just type it in millimeters and it will be all set. So let's go ahead up to the dimensions and we'll dimension this now. Here's our dimension tool. I clicked on it once. One click is all we have to do. Sometimes we get click happy. We click, 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 click. It's going to confuse. The computer's going to try to keep up with what you're telling it to do. So just slow it down. Keep it simple. We're going to click once. Click on this line here, and we're going to dimension our line to be 100 millimeters, 100 mm. Boom. And the side of it, it's going to be a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning 2 times as long on the top for the rectangle, the long side, as the 1 time on the wide side. So this is going to be a 50 millimeter side here. Because I'm operating in millimeters, it's okay if I just put 150. But if you're in inches, you're going to write 100 millimeters, and it's going to say like 1.9 whatever inches. That's in inches is equal to 100 millimeters. So just so you know, that's coming. Okay, 100 millimeters by 50 millimeters. That is what we're looking for our initial beginning point rectangle. I'm going to hit the check mark. Lock that in. Done. Now, this is two-dimensional. It's flat on a piece of paper. How do I know? I can rotate this and see that it's a two-dimensional drawing there. It's flat on the paper or on the plane. I'm going to go back to front. Now I want to make it 3D. So right next to the sketch button where you saw sketch, I'm going to click on extrude. And again, we can change the name here. So instead of extrude 1, I'm going to say EX rect. EX rect for extrude rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and say the face, I want it to be 10 millimeters. So I'm going to go 10 millimeters. And now it's saying here in the blue, what are we going to extrude? So I'm going to go ahead and click on the rectangle, and it will now extrude that rectangle, meaning it'll take it from 2D and expand it out to 3D. And that's all we're going to do for this current phase. So I'm going to hit the green check mark. Rotate, and there is my extruded rectangle. Now it is like a domino. All right. Now, we need to go on the inside of this, and we're going to knock out an area. We're going to cut an area outside of this so we can put something inside of it, kind of infill it. So we need to go back to our sketch. See on my left-hand side, all I have so far is rectangle and extrude rectangle. That's it. There shouldn't be like 5 sketches there yet. Well, as we build, we'll gain more, but not right now. You should have only what I have on the left-hand side. If you need to delete something on the Macs, you can hold Control and click, and then you can delete it. So let me show you Control. I got to click out of here first. But I can go in here, and I can hold Control and click, and there's delete. Okay, so again, I have to go to sketch. I'm going to call this inner R, or I'll just spell it out for all of you. Inner rectangle, but you can be shorter, abbreviate if you want to. My sketch plane will be the surface of this rectangle. And you'll see it says face of extrude rectangle. That's where we're going to draw. Now I'm going to go get a new rectangle. I'm going to draw it on the inside. Okay? Now I'm going to turn off that rectangle tool so it's not blue anymore. And I'm going to dimension this because I want to have a border of 3 millimeters around the whole thing. So I'm going to click two sides and go ahead and make 3 millimeters. Now I'm going to click the bottom side and the bottom side and make that 3 millimeters. And then the right side and the right side and make that 3 millimeters. And the left side and the left side and make that 3 millimeters. There we go. We have a nice border on this current rectangle. So we have a rectangle drawn on top of a 3D rectangle. I'm going to turn off my dimension tool and I'm going to rotate it and show you. So it's not on the back. It's not cut out. It's on that front side where we started. Check, green check mark. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to extrude that inner rectangle. So I'm going to call the extrude here. I'm going to say EX I'm changing the name to extrude inner rectangle. Now we're going to remove instead of add this time. I'll leave it as add first so you can see what that looks like. And we want it to be 7 millimeters because we know it's 10 on our initial rectangle, so we're going to leave 3. 10 minus 7 is 3. I'm going to go ahead and add that, and we're going to rotate and look. That didn't do it yet because I didn't select the face. Go back to the front page. I didn't select the face here, so it didn't know where to extrude. Boom. Click there. You'll see that it's sticking out 7 millimeters. Well, we didn't want it to stick out. We wanted to cut into it. So just go back up here and choose remove. And now it cut into there 7 millimeters. We have a 3 millimeter back on the whole thing. And there we go. Go back to my front block. Hit the check mark. That is done now. The next thing we want to do now is bring in text. So we want to bring in another sketch. On the left-hand side, I have 4 things. We sketched a rectangle. We extruded it. We sketched an inner rectangle. We extruded with the remove to cut out that middle area to make a nice border. Now we're going to go back to sketch, and we're going to make, we'll call this our text. Now you might have multiple texts. I'm going to start with just one. I'm going to say my sketch plane is on the inside. So face of extruded inner rectangle. That's exactly where I want it to be. This A right here is your text. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag something right here. I'm going to keep it rather small and say my text, what do I want it to say? I'm going to say hello. It doesn't matter what you say. You guys have something school safe. It's all good. I'll hit the check mark. There's my hello. I'm going to go ahead now and dimension that. And that's 8 point. I'm going to make that 4. And I'm going to make this side to this side also 4. So it's off to my left a little bit. And that's kind of what I was looking for. You just dimension it to move it around as you need to. If anything comes up as red, that's going to be a constraint. That's going to mean you have a problem there. So right now that's 4 up there. And if I make this 4, it's going to make the hello a lot larger to fill that space as I put there. It's going to keep it to the same size as I had it before, but that doesn't work. That's not going to be, I want it in the upper left quadrant. So I'm going to go back to this dimension. I'm going to delete it actually. I need to dimension it to give it back to now where I was. So let's say I want to make this 20. Nope, I'm going to change it again. I want to make it 25. I think I want to go a little smaller. I'm going to go 30. There we go. That's kind of what I was thinking initially when I made this. So this is what I'm looking for. You have some words in there. Now, what else do I want to make? I could add another text or another object. I'm going to go with the spline tool. You see where it is up here. And I'm going to draw a paw print the best I can here. Just kind of drawing with a mouse. It's not perfect, but that's pretty good. Now I want to go ahead and make the little paws. And you guys can go ahead and go with whatever creative idea you want, as long as you guys take some time and make sure it's as you wish it. You can delete stuff if you need to delete it. Okay, there we go. So hello, and we got a paw print. I'm going to hit the check mark. That's what I'm looking for. Now we need to extrude this. You guys are getting the hang of it here. I'm going to go to the extrude button. I'm going to go ahead and pick on this face here. I don't want it to be 25 millimeters. Everything went default to 25 millimeters. That's a little bit big. If you had that standing up, it's going to fall over. So I'm going to go ahead and make this, let's say 3 millimeters. Been using 3 a lot. Okay, now that looks pretty good. Now these are tied together because they're on the same sketch. If you want to make one of them a knockout, meaning remove, and one of them an add, you'll have to make 2 sketches. So I have text for hello, and then the drawing for the paw print, you'd have to have a second text. So I just want to show you, if I hit remove right now, you'll see that it's all the way through. If I hit the check mark, it'll show that it's all the way through right now. There's hello, and there's the paw print based on what I drew and I told the computer to do. So again, if you want to have one come out and one go in, just have 2 sketches rather than 1 sketch, and then extrude the one, and then make another sketch, and then extrude that one, remove, add, as you wish. Okay, the last thing I want you to do is I want you to make a hole on the side over here. And it has to be a place for you to tag. If you want to have this as a backpack tag, I can put a chain on it for you, and we'll make a hole through there. So I'm going to go with a sketch. I'm just going to call this hole, and sketch plane will be right there. I don't have it squared up, so maybe I'll go with the left side. There we go. Sketch plane will be right there. Face of good. All right, now I'm going to go get a circle, and I'm going to make the circle on the side. Let's make it a little bit. There we go. Okay. With my mouse cursor, I'm going to zoom in. Good. Now we need to dimension this. This is a circle now, so we're going to have to dimension the side of the circle to the side. And I'm going to say that's 10 millimeters, the whole thing. So I'm going to say I want it 2 millimeters off the side. And I want this to be 2 millimeters off the side. Let's see if that gives me a constraint. Oh, it worked. It shrunk the circle down as I wanted. It's 2 millimeters off each side. That works out well. Check mark. Now we need that extruded. So we're going to go ahead and click on the circle. I'm sorry, not yet. Mr. Mattia is going too fast here. We're going to go back to where the sketch is and then choose the extrude button. And I'm going to go with remove. I want to remove it. And we know that side's 3 millimeters, so I'm just going to make it 3 millimeters on the depth. And we need to click on what we want to extrude. We click on the circle and hit the check mark. Boom. All right, so we have that. But the one problem is, see the back here? It's actually an issue because it's partially in the back of the, see the side? It's partially in the back, the 3 millimeters we have in the back. So if this is 7 millimeters we cut out, we don't really want to have it into the back here. We have to move it forward a little bit. So you'll have to go into the sketch and your drawing and go ahead and adjust that. So I'm going to go back to this. And that 2 millimeters, I'm going to want to push that forward. I'm going to delete this one first. I'm going to go into my dimension. This is getting more complex for you, but in case you're ready for it, I'm going to push that out to 4 millimeters and see if that'll fit. No, that's too big. 3. Okay, so you can play with that and keep working on it. That's the basics for what we're going to work on. Try to get that drawing completed, and we'll go from there. All right, everyone, good luck. I will see you on Monday.